Have you ever opened your freezer and wondered if what's inside is quietly stealing years from your life? Most people over 60 think frozen food is harmless, maybe even convenient. But the truth is, some of the very items you rely on for quick meals are accelerating, aging, draining your energy, and putting your heart, brain, and kidneys under silent attack. I'm not exaggerating. What's hiding behind those frosty doors could be the difference between staying active and independent or facing years of struggle with your health. I'm Dr. Johnny, and after decades of caring for seniors across America, I've seen this pattern again and again. Good people just like you who believed they were making safe, easy choices only to end up with creeping weight gain, stubborn joint pain, dangerous blood pressure spikes, and memory lapses they couldn't explain. The shocking part, it wasn't fast food or late-night snacks. It was what they were pulling straight from their freezer. Now here's the urgent warning I need you to hear after age 60. Your metabolism slows, your muscle mass declines, and your body loses its ability to process salt, sugar, and chemical additives the way it once did. That means the wrong frozen foods don't just make you sluggish. They actively speed up the aging process and can double your risk of heart disease, stroke, and dementia. And the worst part, these foods are so common you probably have at least one of them in your freezer right now. But here's the good news, and it's why you must stay with me. For every frozen food that works against your body, there's another that can work with it. Foods that preserve your independence, keep your mind sharp, strengthen your bones and muscles, and even extend your healthy years. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal the 4 frozen foods you should never touch after 60 and the 4 powerful options that can transform your health without complicated diets or expensive supplements. So as you're listening, I want you to picture your own freezer, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to remove, what to keep, and how to use your freezer as your secret weapon for aging well. And trust me, when you hear number 3 on the never touch list, you'll realize just how urgent this really is and why you can't afford to look away. Let's start with the one that hurts the most: frozen pizza. I know how tempting it is. You're tired, you don't want to cook, and that box sitting in your freezer feels like the fastest ticket to comfort. But what feels like comfort on the outside is quietly wrecking your body on the inside, especially after 60. I once had a patient named Robert, 67 years old, who swore he only ate frozen pizza once in a while, but once in a while turned into 3 nights a week. Over time, his blood pressure shot up, his ankles started swelling, and he couldn't figure out why his joints ached so badly. The culprit was hiding in plain sight: those pizzas. Here's the science. 1 serving of frozen pizza contains anywhere from 700 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium. And let's be honest, who stops at 1 serving? Most people eat the whole thing, which means you're loading your kidneys and heart with double or even triple your safe daily intake of salt in a single meal. After 60, your kidneys can't flush out sodium like they used to. The result: high blood pressure, water retention, bloating, and added strain on a heart that's already working harder than ever. Then there's the crust made of refined white flour that spikes your blood sugar. As you age, your insulin sensitivity drops, which means your body struggles to bring those spikes back down. That's why you feel that foggy crash in the afternoon, and why type 2 diabetes risk climbs higher with every bite. Add to this the processed meats like pepperoni or sausage packed with nitrates and preservatives. Your body can no longer detoxify efficiently, and you've got a recipe for inflammation and cancer risk and relentless fatigue. Worst of all, frozen pizza is heavy on calories but shockingly low on protein, robbing your muscles of the building blocks they desperately need after 60. But just knowing this isn't enough, because what comes next is even more dangerous. If you thought dinner was bad, wait until you see what's hiding in your freezer for breakfast. It's a sugar bomb disguised as the most important meal of the day. If dinner can silently attack your health, breakfast can be even more brutal. And the worst part is most people never see it coming. I'm talking about frozen breakfast foods, toaster pastries, waffles, drowning in syrup, sugary burritos, those quick grab and go boxes that promise energy but deliver disaster. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 64-year-old retired teacher. Every morning she popped a frozen waffle into the toaster and thought she was being smart, fast, easy, no mess. But by mid-morning she felt shaky, irritable, and desperate for another snack. Over time, the pounds crept on her blood sugar readings skyrocketed, and she couldn't understand why her energy collapsed before lunch. The truth was simple. Her convenient breakfast was setting her entire day on fire. Here's the science. A single frozen pastry can pack 15 to 25 grams of sugar. That's nearly your entire recommended daily limit, and you're eating it before noon. After 60, your body's ability to handle sugar crashes dramatically. Insulin resistance creeps in, meaning those sugar highs last longer, hit harder, and leave you on a roller coaster of cravings and fatigue. Worse, many of these products still hide dangerous fats. Palm oil, hydrogenated oils that stiffen your arteries, worsen arthritis, and increase your dementia risk. And remember those hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin. These sugary breakfasts scramble them, making you hungrier all day long, especially around your midsection, which is the most dangerous fat of all. What makes this more alarming is that breakfast sets the tone for the entire day. Start with sugar and refined carbs, and you'll chase energy until bedtime. Start with protein and nutrients, and you'll feel steady, focused, and strong. But just knowing frozen breakfast foods are harmful isn't enough, because what's coming next is worse. Imagine foods fried frozen and reheated until they carry compounds that literally accelerate aging. That's what's hiding in your freezer under the label of fried favorites. And once you hear about it, you'll never look at those nuggets or fries the same way again. Now let's talk about the real landmine in your freezer, frozen fried foods. Nuggets, fries, onion rings, fish sticks. They look innocent, even fun. But for anyone over 60, they're like pouring gasoline on the fire of aging. I'll never forget a man named Charles, 70 years old, who swore by his easy dinners. A handful of frozen chicken nuggets with fries in the oven, a little ketchup, and he felt like he'd eaten a full meal. But over the years, he noticed his knees stiffening, his memory slipping, and his blood work showing markers of inflammation sky high. He thought it was just age catching up until we traced it back to the breaded fried foods that had become his nightly routine. Here's the science. When foods are fried frozen, then reheated, they develop compounds called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These don't just sound scary, they literally speed up the aging process by attacking your cells, stiffening your arteries, and clouding your brain. After 60, your body's natural defenses against inflammation are weaker, which means every bite hits you harder. The oils used in these foods are another nightmare. Often rancid, overheated multiple times before they even hit your freezer. They're loaded with omega-6 fats that fuel joint pain and chronic inflammation. Combine that with breading made of refined flour and additives, and you've got a recipe for blood sugar spikes, stubborn belly fat, and a constant foggy feeling you can't shake. And let's not forget the sodium. Just one serving can carry 800 milligrams or more, enough to push your blood pressure to dangerous levels before you even realize it. The worst part, these foods are calorie bombs with almost no satiety. You can eat 700 calories of nuggets and fries and still feel hungry an hour later. That's how sneaky weight gain builds up and why so many seniors struggle to lose it. But here's the shocking twist. If you think fried foods are the last sweet trap in your freezer, you're mistaken. Because what's waiting next isn't savory at all. It's sweet, creamy, and marketed as comfort. Yet it could quietly be sabotaging your brain, your sleep, and even your independence. And now we come to the sneakiest freezer trap of all: frozen desserts and ice cream. I know this one stings, because for many people over 60, a scoop of ice cream at night feels like one of the last simple pleasures left. It's cold, it's creamy, it's comforting. But here's the heartbreaking truth, that comfort comes with a hidden cost that your body can no longer afford. Let me tell you about Linda, a 72-year-old grandmother who kept a pint of premium ice cream in her freezer at all times. Just 2 spoonfuls before bed, she'd say with a smile. But 2 spoonfuls became half the container, and half the container quickly became the whole pint. Before long, she was waking up groggy, her blood sugar unstable, her digestion in chaos, and her memory not as sharp as it used to be. What she thought was a harmless indulgence was quietly eroding her independence. Here's why. A single serving of ice cream can contain 20 to 30 grams of sugar. But let's be real, no one sticks to the tiny serving size on the label. That sugar spike fuels systemic inflammation, drives insulin resistance, and has been linked to faster cognitive decline. And it's not just sugar. Many frozen desserts rely on cheap saturated fats, stabilizers and emulsifiers that stiffen your arteries, disrupt your gut microbiome, and interfere with the deep restorative sleep your body desperately needs. After 60, when sleep is already fragile, this can be devastating. The cruel trick is that sugar dulls your taste buds with age. The more you eat, the more you need to feel satisfied. It's a vicious cycle that keeps you reaching for the freezer night after night. But here's the part that might surprise you. Your freezer doesn't have to be your enemy. In fact, it can become your greatest ally. Because for every harmful frozen food, there are power-packed alternatives waiting to fuel your body, strengthen your mind, and even add healthy years to your life. And the first one on the list is so effective, I call it nature's prescription in a frozen package. If you only add one thing to your freezer after 60, let it be frozen wild-caught fish. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. These aren't just meals, they're medicine in disguise. Flash frozen within hours of being caught, they lock in nutrients that your body craves at this stage of life, making them often fresher and healthier than the fresh fillets sitting for days at the supermarket. Take Harold, 68, who hadn't touched fish in years because he thought it was too expensive and too much hassle to cook. Once he discovered frozen wild-caught salmon, everything changed. In just a few months, his cholesterol numbers improved, his morning stiffness eased, and his doctor cut back one of his blood pressure meds. All from a freezer swap he could make in under 20 minutes. Here's the science. Fatty fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, powerful compounds proven to lower your risk of heart disease by 25% and slow cognitive decline by nearly 30%. After 60, when brain fog, memory slips, and cardiovascular strain become real threats, these oils are like armor for your body. Each serving also delivers 20-25 grams of high-quality protein, exactly what your muscles need to fight off sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss that can rob you of independence. Add to that a solid dose of vitamin D, which many seniors lack, and you've got a single food that protects your heart, brain, bones, and immune system all at once. And here's the best part, it's foolproof. Cook straight from frozen with herbs, lemon, and a drizzle of olive oil, and you've got a restaurant-quality dinner in under 20 minutes, no waste, no stress. But fish isn't the only frozen superfood worth stocking up on. Because when it comes to protecting your brain, reducing inflammation, and even boosting collagen for your skin, there's a colorful frozen option that beats almost everything else. And chances are you'll actually look forward to eating it every single day. Now let's add a splash of color to that freezer frozen berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. Tiny, sweet, and bursting with power, these little gems are often more nutritious frozen than fresh because they're picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen within hours, locking in antioxidants your body desperately needs after 60. Take Mary, a 71-year-old widow who struggled with constant brain fog and low energy. She thought it was just getting older. When I suggested she add a cup of frozen blueberries to her morning oatmeal, she was skeptical. But within weeks, she noticed something remarkable. Her focus sharpened, her energy stabilized, and even her skin looked brighter. All from a simple handful of frozen fruit. Here's the science. Berries are loaded with antioxidants like anthocyanins, which fight oxidative stress and reduce the inflammation that accelerates aging. Studies show that regular blueberry consumption can improve memory and delay cognitive decline, so much so that some researchers call them brain berries. One cup also delivers more antioxidants than most people get in an entire day. And strawberries. They actually pack more vitamin C than an orange, supporting your immune system and collagen production to keep your skin joints and blood vessels resilient. But it doesn't stop there. The fiber in berries helps regulate digestion, control blood sugar, and feed your guts good bacteria. After 60, when your microbiome naturally weakens, this support is priceless. And the best part, frozen berries are versatile. Blend them into smoothies, stir them into yogurt, or let them thaw and drizzle their natural syrup over oatmeal or cottage cheese. Sweet, satisfying, and guilt-free. Still as powerful as berries are, they're just the beginning. Because there's another frozen category that's even more overlooked: vegetables. And when you learn how these humble freezer bags can protect your heart, detox your body, and add vibrant energy back into your life, you'll never skip the veggie aisle again. Now let's talk about one of the simplest, most powerful upgrades you can make: frozen vegetables. I know what you might be thinking. Frozen veggies aren't fresh better, but here's the truth. Most frozen vegetables are picked at their nutritional peak and flash frozen immediately, while the fresh produce in your fridge may have been losing vitamins for a week or more, before it even reached your plate. I'll never forget George, a 66-year-old retiree who hated buying fresh veggies because they always went bad before he could use them. He admitted throwing away bags of wilted spinach and spoiled broccoli every single week. When he finally switched to frozen, not only did he stop wasting money, but his diet completely transformed. He was eating colorful veggies every day, his digestion improved, and his doctor was stunned at how quickly his blood pressure stabilized. Here's why frozen vegetables matter so much after 60. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts are rich in sulforaphane, a compound that helps your liver detoxify harmful chemicals that build up as you age. Leafy greens like spinach and kale are packed with folate for brain health and natural nitrates that support healthy circulation and energy. And mixed vegetable blends provide the fiber your gut needs to stay balanced and resilient, especially when your microbiome diversity starts to decline. Cooking them is simple, just don't overdo it. 3 to 5 minutes is all it takes to preserve their vibrant nutrients. Toss them into soup, sauté them with garlic and olive oil, or roast them straight from the freezer for a crispy, flavorful side dish. Suddenly, veggies go from being a chore to being the easiest, most reliable part of your diet. And yet, even with all their power, vegetables aren't the final secret your freezer holds. Because the last food I'm about to share isn't just nutritious, it's restorative. It can rebuild joints, soothe your digestion, and even help you sleep better. And once you discover it, you'll wonder why it's not already a daily ritual. Finally, we arrive at one of the most underrated treasures you can keep in your freezer: frozen bone broth. At first glance, it looks simple. Just a block of broth in a bag or container. But don't let the appearance fool you. For people over 60, bone broth can be nothing short of restorative medicine. I think of Evelyn, a 70-year-old who suffered from constant knee pain and sleepless nights. She tried pills, supplements, even special mattresses, but nothing worked. When she started sipping a warm cup of bone broth every afternoon, made from a high-quality frozen stock, she noticed her joints felt looser, her digestion calmer, and for the first time in years, she was sleeping through the night. All from something she thought was just soup. Here's the science. Bone broth is loaded with collagen and amino acids like glycine and proline, which rebuild connective tissue, soothe inflamed joints, and help your muscles recover. Collagen production naturally drops by about 1% every year after age 20, so by 60, your body's running on a serious deficit. That's why adding it back through diet becomes such a game changer. The minerals in bone broth, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, are in forms your body can actually absorb, helping protect your bones and keep your immune system resilient. And that glycine. It not only supports your gut lining, reducing bloating and sensitivities, but also calms your nervous system, promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. And preparation couldn't be easier. Heat it up as a warm drink, use it as the base for soups, or cook grains like rice and quinoa in it for a nutrition boost. One simple addition, endless benefits. But knowing what to avoid and what to embrace is only the beginning. Because the real key to success isn't just swapping foods, it's building small, consistent habits that stack up into a healthier, stronger, more independent you. And in the conclusion, I'll show you exactly how to put it all together, so you leave not just informed but empowered. Listen, my friend, I know making changes after 60 isn't easy. Habits feel set, comfort foods are tempting, and it can seem overwhelming to think about swapping out what you've always known. But here's what I want you to remember: every small step you take matters. Even removing just one harmful frozen food and adding in one nourishing option can shift the way your body feels, the way your energy flows, and even how confident you feel in your own skin. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to transform overnight. Progress comes from consistent, gentle changes that build up like compound interest, tiny actions that add years of strength, independence, and joy to your life. And I promise you, your future self will thank you for every decision you start making today. That's why I encourage you to save this video right now so you can come back whenever you need a reminder or a burst of motivation. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join our senior health community. Here you'll find reliable, science-backed medical insights designed for people over 60, not generic advice made for 30-year-olds. I read every comment, I listened to your questions, and I create these episodes because your health, your dignity, and your independence truly matter to me. So don't walk away from this video thinking it was just another lecture. Take it as a personal reminder that you are not powerless. Your choices still shape your future, and your freezer can either speed up aging or help you thrive well into your golden years. You've got more control than you realize. And with the right foods, the right knowledge, and the right mindset, you can step into the years ahead, not just surviving, but living stronger, brighter, and freer than you thought possible.